Starting any type of business and running it successfully is not easy. Considering the fact there are already established businesses in Belize, one need to have the right strategy to employ in starting another business in the same location. This article therefore looks at some of the issues one should look into when starting businesses in Belize. The first factor is the type of business one want to venture into. The type will enable you to know the amount of money you are going to need for setting up the business. The type will also guide you in making decision in regard to other factors. It is not good to venture into several businesses. You must be able to specialize in a particular product. The other aspect to consider is the capital needed to start the business. Capital is the money and assets you have set aside to use in starting the business. You must ensure first determine the capital needed in the setting up of the business. Thereafter you need to decide on the various means of raising the capital. For instance, you may decide you use your personal savings to raise the needed capital or even to borrow from the bank. Another important aspect to consider is the location. Location is the place where the business will be operating from. The location of the business should depend on a number of factors, such as the following. The first one is the availability of the customers. The other one is the accessibility and also the security status of the area. You must ensure that the area you settle on is one which can easily be accessed by your customers and also one which is secure. Manpower is another important factor worth considering. If the type of business you intend to start require manpower to be involved, then it is important that you must consider where you are going to find the manpower and the cost of hiring the manpower to operate the business. Any type of business will require manpower to provide labor. You may need skilled labor or unskilled labor to ensure that the business is operating smoothly. It is therefore necessary for one to also consider the availability of the manpower and the cost of hiring the manpower before starting the business. The necessary permit to operate the business is another important thing to be considered. You cannot start any business venture without having the necessary licenses for the operation. These licenses form part of the legal requirements for starting and operating business in Belize. The other issue to look into is the necessary licenses need before one can establish a business in Belize. The needed licenses are provided for in the legal requirement. The best way to go about ensuring that you have fully complied with the legal requirement is to hire a business lawyer to give you legal advice on how to comply with the legislation. These are some of the issues to be considered when starting businesses in Belize.